Started out, I was sitting on some weird chair at, what was it called? Some sort of body shop, auto body shop. And I was sitting there and I was asking to use Wi Fi on the laptop that I'm on right now. And the guy is like, yeah, no worries. And then I end up changing spots using the internet. And there's this guy sitting next to me with a bike, and he's crying, and he and I were both biking through the Keys, and I don't know why he was crying. He wasn't really like bawling or anything, but then we talk about it, and like his bike has problems, and I had similar bike problems, blah blah blah. And then from there, what happens after that? I guess after that, should have recorded this when I first mentioned it. Um, I was in this. Was I in a restaurant? I was in this restaurant, and a bunch of like young Asians were there, and they gave me this like cookie thing to eat, and I ate it, and I kept like changing seats. Like I went to sit with them, and then they sat with someone else, and like I don't know, it was really weird. And then someone else like tried to give me something to eat, uh, and I couldn't remember. I don't know, for some reason I didn't accept because I'd already eaten something else, and then I became kind of sketched out by these people trying to give me a certain thing to eat. But then from there, they like directed me towards this DVD or CD rental place where you like download music onto blank CDs, but they have like an archive of everything. And I was there, and I was trying to fill out my name and like other information on this paper to get subscribed to them, and I couldn't spell my name. I couldn't spell anything. I kept like erasing and trying over again, and like saying like weird words instead of my name. And eventually I was like, what the fuck? And then I remember I actually got my name at one point, and it looked just like my handwriting. And then I'm like sitting on the computer starting to listen to some music, and then this other woman comes up who is like already a subscriber getting new music, and I asked them how the subscription works and all of that, and they look at me like I'm a fucking retard, like you don't know what this is, blah blah blah, you're stupid. And I felt really weird. I felt like I was on drugs or something. I couldn't comprehend anything really, and or at least not to normal capability. And then from there, I think I go back onto the boat with Greg and Mike, and we're getting ready to leave and go into the city, and everyone's Asian except for like the biker that I met in the beginning. Almost everyone's Asian, and like we're no longer in the Keys, we're somewhere in Asia, and we're on this boat on this river, and Greg and Mike are in there, and I tell them we have to like get these cookie cardboard shorts and put them on, and we start doing that. And then there's this other guy in the boat, and he's like, oh, we need to go to this part of town, like I want us to go eat to this dessert place, I wanted y'all to have some cookie crumbles. And we were like, oh, well, we kind of already had other plans, and at this point I was kind of suspicious and onto it. And Mike knew the big city that we were going to really well, and so he was like, well, we can't make it to this part of town and that part of town and do both, so we're just going to stick with our original plans. And the guy got kind of mad, and then so we end up leaving, and then we get in the dinghy and start floating down the river. And in the dinghy, I'm like looking back at the sky, and I see, well, it looks like the Milky Way, but orange and crazy, like straight in front of me. And then I see a shooting star just shoot down, and then I notice all over there's like Milky Waves just imploding and exploding, and like, but they're all orange and like just going crazy. The sky was so crazy. And then all of a sudden these white things started swirling around, and then Mike and Greg started noticing, and I got out my flip video camera and I started filming. And then as soon as I started filming, something. Oh, I missed a really big part. Um, bef- before all of this, um, it was after the restaurant, before I went to the music place. I was like in this river, and all these people were pretty much coming at me. Like, I guess they set me up to go to this river. I don't know. And um, I'm in this river, and then from like both directions, this wall of people with swords come at me, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do, if they even know I'm there. But somehow they get really close, and then I go underwater, and then from there I'm not watching it through my own perspective. I'm watching it through someone else's perspective looking in. And the people, like, I guess there was a big wave that took me under, or something like magical. And the people just like start swinging swords at each other and like slicing like multiple people at a time and crazy shit. And then the people that are observing this, where I'm seeing them from, all of a sudden they see at the shore of a river like a hippo or a rhino come up, and I'm on its back, and I'm like still alive. And those people that were observing were the first people that gave me the cookie, who I think might have been okay. But anyways, so that was before the CD burning place, but after I ate the cookie at that restaurant. So now back to being in the dinghy, and the stars in the sky was like orange and imploding and exploding. I start to film it, and then as I'm starting to film, all of a sudden I just get like shot out of the dinghy straight up in the air, and I land in the water, but I managed to not go under from here, well, from here, from my chest up, and I'm still recording, and my camera's not wet. And then I have to pee, and I'm in the water, so I just hang on the dinghy and I start peeing, and I get back in the dinghy, and then that's all that I can remember. But I remember like seeing the city that we were gonna go to, like in my head, or I already knew the city, but it was like also kind of like fiery orange on there. I don't know, it was really crazy. But I died, and I was on drugs and wild shit.